pretty sure Sid is the table flipper, is he not? Hello friends and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up if you want. Today we're jumping into, I think it's r/RPG/horror-stories. It was actually posted in my personal subreddit, r/ReddXreads. You could go ahead, check it out over there. Maybe there's more parts to it. I'm not quite sure. I just found this one and it seemed pretty interesting, so I decided, why not give it a little read? We are live streaming this over on Twitch as well, twitch.tv/DaytonDoes. All kinds of plugs. You know, we're doing the big thing, trying to take over the internet, so you can check out the links in the description if you want to check out some more of those things. But first, let's go ahead, let's get some plugs and disclaimers out of the way, and then we can get into what you're probably really here for, and that is some of that r/RPG horror stories, a cringe. Gamer horror stories. The CID incidents, part 1. Little girls do cry. Oh, I cry when angels deserve to die, or something like that. That's a very ominous title, is it not? Haven't read the story quite yet, but I'm already having a bit of trepidation about it. So go easy on us, Dr. Gamer, all right? Just start it out slow. Just be gentle. It's my first time. I've been really digging ReddX a lot lately. Hey, you have, haven't you? You even came to my subreddit and made a post? Oh my god. I think it's a ReddX exclusive as well. I don't think it was posted anywhere else. So doubly blessed. And I was finally inspired to share my gamer horror stories. Are they tabletop horror stories or just gamer horror stories? Because there's a pretty big difference between like cringe and video game. I guess we'll see what it is. That's fine. Here is the first of what I hope will be many tales of Sid, the toxic gamer. Hey, my name's Sid, and that's an edgy name, isn't it? My parents named me after that Toy Story kid.
You mean that happy child?
That ain't no happy child.
I have to wonder if he's actually named after Sid. It might be after Final Fantasy Sid, you know. He's got a role in like all the Final Fantasy games, I'm pretty sure. Haven't played very many Final Fantasy games, but usually there is a Sid. Anyways, also appearing there is the Doctor, Das ROP, Alpha Geek. I don't go out of my way to one-up others, cool geeks, but I am pretty geeky. All right, don't start tooting your horn too fast, all right? We're gonna have another Pizza Hut beard situation on our hands. I play/run in 4 ongoing weekly games. I work in IT, and I have a Gandalf-style beard. Oh god, I wish I could grow a beard like that. Oh, I'm telling you, once I start losing all the hair on the top of my head, I'm gonna just let the sides grow out. I'm gonna go full fucking wizard status. I don't even care anymore. Hopefully it'll turn white at some point. I won't be dead before that happens. That's what I'm really looking forward to. Dressing up like a wizard IRL. Mrs. Dr. Gamer is a gamer girl. Gamer girl. Why did we stop doing that? I guess it's because like RAR culture, RAR XD took it and bastardized it and nobody wants to identify with that anymore. Except for Mrs. Dr. Gamer. Okay, I'll give you a pass. She's the group mom, though she would never admit it. We met on a BBS and have been in love with each other ever since. She is smart and cool and tough. All right, love for the wifey, I get that. Or significant other. I don't know if they're married or not. But love on the internet, yes, it does happen. I've been there before. 7 years later, we still here. So hold on to that one tight, OP. P-Chan is a gamer buddy who eventually got too cool for school. He was a great guy while he gamed with us, though. Too cool for school, like too big for his britches. You had to give him a little paddling, put him back in his place. It's interesting his name is P-Chan. At least it's just the letter P and not like P-E-E. That would be even more worrying, but already a little bit sus. We got Morid, Gamer Buddy, and Sweet Man. I was the best man at his wedding, and we have always been able to confide in each other when things were going rough. Yeah, you always need a best bro. Really, it doesn't matter how popular you are, okay? Just one or two good friends, and that's all you need. Hang on to them as well. Tesleen is another gamer girl and one of my most reliable friends. Oh, does she identify with that too? Are we just slapping this label on anybody with a vagina? I thought it was like a specific type of gamer girl to be like a girl, GRRL, but what do I know? I guess I'm just old. I'm finding that out more and more every day. I'm really thankful for the day that I met Tesleen. She's one of those people that you have to be careful what you ask her to help you with because she will help you, even if she is already overloaded. She's a mom of 2 and a loving wife. Oh, Tesleen, this reminds me so much of Mrs. ReddX. She's just so eager to pile herself up with other people's problems. I'm like, stop it. Put it down. Focus on yourself first. And she's like, but they need help. And I'm like, I know, but you help yourself before you help others, okay? That's the only way that this is going to work. You can't just load yourself up until you break. Tesleen, already one of my favorite characters. I have so much sympathy for her. It's a beautiful way to be, but please, please look out for number 1 just a little bit more. Barbicia, minigamer, daughter of Morid and Tesleen, and a sweet girl. The type of person who carefully picks their words so as not to hurt anyone's feelings. She was at that age where she desperately wanted to play games with the adults, but she was just not old enough. Yeah, good choice. I'm sorry. I get it, you want to be included, but maybe we have like a separate game for the kids, right? This is the adults game only. She spent a lot of time in the other room with the gamer kids playing Minecraft. Oh, that's so relatable. It's like my daughter too. Is this story about me? Am I Morid? I don't know what's going on. I think this is another story ghost written by Ramtide. That's the theory that I'm going with. Every once in a while, she would be allowed by mom to join a quick game. At this time, Barbicia was in grade school, like 6 to 10 years old. Yes, probably not old enough, especially if you got creeps hanging around the table. What is Sid gonna do? Oh my god, I don't know if I want to do this. Am I ready for this today after Unfortunate yesterday? God damn. It's really heavy. All right, it's gonna be fine. Fingers crossed, it's going to be fine. So, to understand this tale, you need to understand a little bit more about Sid. He's not really a neckbeard. He's close, though. I mean, it is RPG horror stories, not neckbeard stories, so I guess we'll allow it. He has anger management issues, issues with authority, know-it-all-itis, one-upsmanosis, an unbridled sense of entitlement, and an undying hatred of women. Oh, you guys are all my problems forever and always. Yeah, okay. Whatever, dude. I do identify with those first couple of things, maybe even those first 3 things. Anger management issues, issues with authority, know-it-all-itis. Yeah, that's sort of me. Luckily, I don't have the one-upsmanship, sense of entitlement, or a hatred of women. Those are what really make it a toxic brew, is it not? I'm still not understanding what makes him not really a neckbeard, because all those things really do make him quite beardy, from my estimation. The things he lacks from typical neckbeards, oh, here we go, are hygiene issues, creeping on women, and the general obliviousness that is neckbeard culture. I mean, he doesn't creep on women because he hates them. Hygiene issues, we've seen relatively clean neckbeards before. It's the beard on the inside that counts. Pick up that t-shirt. Hey, thanks. The general obliviousness, I mean, that also doesn't really tie into neckbeardery 100%. The things that we look for are delusions of grandeur, sense of entitlement. You got these 2 things, you're already on the path to neckbearddom. And as you've said, he does have that sense of entitlement. I guess we'll have to see about the delusions of grandeur. He might be like nice guy leaning incel or something like that. I don't know. It's a very complicated diagnosis process, okay? I would have to know a lot more about this guy to really nail it down, and perhaps we will learn more about him during this tale. So let's start. He is a gatekeeper. Oh god. Yep. For reference, he and I have been playing with my main RPG group on a weekly basis for over 10 years, but he still does not consider them real gamers. Bro, if you are what a real gamer is, I hope to never be that. Please stop, no more. In the more than 10 years that I've known him, he has never talked about women/men/non-binary that he was interested in, much less interested in dating. So my working theory is that this guy is ace, right? He doesn't show sexual interest in other people for over 10 years. That is like an extensive period of time, a full decade, to never talk with anybody about somebody that you wanted to date. Okay, so he might be ace. And if he is ace, OP is trying to use this as proof that he's not a neckbeard because he doesn't sexually objectify other people. But that's why that's not included in the preliminary checklist, right? You can absolutely be a neckbeard without showing interest in other people. He also might not talk about his sexuality because it's really deviant, and maybe he thinks that other people at the table would cast him out as a heretic over it. You know what I'm talking about? The title, the mention of this 6 to 10-year-old girl flashes back to the front of my mind. I hope that we're not getting into a pedo story. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Maybe I should start vetting stories. I don't know how this is gonna go. I'm bracing myself for the worst, okay? Hoping for the best, but I don't think it's gonna go that way. So at this point, you might be asking, why the hell were you friends with him for so long? Yeah, true. Well, he wasn't always this bad. I have a theory that he didn't show the true CID until he was more comfortable with the group. He had a similar timeline with another group that I know about, but that's a tale for another post. For the first 5 years that I knew him, he was a grumpy but lovable friend. And then after 5 years, the mask came off. That is an inordinate amount of time. This guy has some otherworldly patience. What the hell? I refuse to believe that he held the mask up for 5 years. I think something happened to him in his personal life during those 5 years that made him turn towards beardery, because, yeah, for somebody to conceal their quote-unquote true self for 5 years, it's basically an impossible task. So, yeah, it's not really a mask thing. It's like he slowly became this thing, and maybe nobody noticed. Regardless of whatever happens in this story, it definitely is an interesting case to study, so I'm eager to read further. Around year 5, there were some warning signs. So, Mrs. Dr. Gamer wanted to GM, and she agreed to run an evil superheroes campaign. Oh yeah, I'm bringing my OC. This is Dr. ReddX. He smites the neckbeards. And then we got some like player combat right off the bat. Come over here, Sid. We got some unfinished business. I said that I didn't like playing evil player characters, but I would go along with it as long as we weren't like G.I. Joe/James Bond villains with a 7-part plan that included thawing the North Pole. Yeah, bit too complicated, right? All I want is sharks with frickin' laser beams attached to their heads. Everyone agreed and we were off and running. I think I played a character who could take or give life to their targets. Bro, overpowered much? That's wild. P-chan made an evil illusionist. At one point, we had to break into a military facility. Instead of trying to defeat the security cameras at the facility, P-chan made themselves look like Sid's characters with their illusion powers, and Sid held that grudge for years. Well, I mean, it is kind of a dick move. You're pinning it on somebody else. You have illusion powers. You could be literally anybody in the whole world, but you choose somebody that is in your party. Yeah, I don't like that, P-chan. I don't like that none too much at all. I was running a Cyberpunk 2020 campaign. The group had to break into a facility. There was a mess of guards on the ground floor and turrets on the roof. Inspired by a video game Morid was playing, they said, we could load ourselves into rocket sleds and launch them at the middle of the building, avoiding lobby security and the roof turrets. To which Sid responded with, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Little crazy, maybe, but it could work. Do you have an alternative solution? So far, nothing all that beardery about him except for what was described. These are poor examples, to say the very least. On more than one occasion, we had to bail Sid out of jail. He would get pulled over by the police for a minor offense, tail light out or whatever, and it would escalate to the point where the police had no choice but to arrest him for a simple traffic stop. Sid is a sovereign citizen. I don't have to show you my license, officer. You're fake authority. See, now all of this is bleeding over into real life. This is a better example of the kind of douchebag that he can be. Come on, dude, just play with the cops. That's fine. Go along with what they say for the most part. They won't hang you up too much. Of course, if you ask to search my car, then I'm gonna have to respectfully tell you no. Do you have a warrant? Am I under arrest? Am I free to go? All right, goodbye. This kind of sovereign citizen shit too, but that's like the acceptable version. Just do it respectfully. That's what the secret is. Sid's hatred of authority extended to even small slivers of authority. I think he just wants to have his own authority so bad. He doesn't have any control over his own life, so when people come in trying to control his life, he like bucks against it as wildly as he possibly can. Is that like some bubblegum armchair psychology? Yeah, probably, but it's a working theory. That's what I'm going with for now. Like, Sid always had ongoing conflicts with the apartment managers of every place that he lived at. Yeah, he's just miserable. Just miserable, wants to make other people miserable. I've been there too at points before, okay? I get where he's coming from. Doesn't really excuse it, but at least I can identify with it in some type of way. Sid was also running a spy RPG. It sounds cool, in theory. We were wrapping up character creation, and I spouted up with something that the group would need. We had a large group of about 8 players. Jesus. So we would need a vehicle that could comfortably fit 8 or more characters. Pause. He's GMing this? You got a neckbeard in charge of 8 characters? Bro, he can't even get his own life together. How's he gonna keep track of what 8 people are supposed to be doing during an RPG? That is impossible. 4 people, 5 people max. That's all I can do. All right. I guess he just doesn't like to tell people no. He's like, okay, all right, all of you can join. It's gonna be a whole lot of just sitting around between combat turns. Different ideas did get bandied about, and somebody said, what about a limo? The obvious answer was, even a limo can't hold 8 characters, which was answered with, what about a stretch limo? And then, mostly jokingly, I got an idea. What about a stretch Mini Cooper? You would have thought that I had just offered to kick Sid in the balls. He yelled, there's no such thing as a stretch Mini Cooper. You can't have one. All right, Sid, sit down, take a breath. It's called a joke, all right? Everything's gonna be fine. At that time, I wasn't tuned into reading his heat level yet, and I thought that he was joking. I did an internet search and found a picture of a real stretch Mini Cooper, and his only answer was, this is my world, and in my world, stretch Mini Coopers don't exist. The idea is just too stupid. And to be fair, it is his world, and he can ban stretch Mini Coopers if he wants, but there was no reason to yell about it. All right, we're back to the bad examples. I think this was a misunderstanding, if anything. I do want to see that picture of the stretch Mini Cooper, though.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
God, what an abomination. That thing looks fucking horrible. Thanks, I hate it. Why have you done this? Please, burn it. Never show it to me again. He is right. It looks stupid. It looks real stupid. If the Stretch Mini Cooper means all that much, you know what? Throw your character sheet in. Be like, Stretch Mini Coopers don't exist? Then my character doesn't exist. Oh, what you gonna do now? But I guess it wasn't to that point quite yet. Although, how long have you known him during this story? You should be able to read his heat level after like 5 years, 10 years, right? Is he just one of those like fringe friends that nobody's really friends with? He's just kind of in the group because he's been in the group for a while. Nobody actually likes him. He just hangs around. We've had a few of those friends. I'm debating like dropping a name, but it's not going to mean anything to anybody else, so fine. Moving on. One time, he was running 4th edition D&D for our group. Why is he always GMing? Why are people joining his group? Don't you know it's gonna go terribly? Maybe? Maybe he is a good GM, and we're just picking, like, the poorest examples. We had a cool setup where we had a 42-inch monitor where the DM could display the maps. And Sid was doing that. He was using Fog of War, and when we eventually reached the cool Blood Temple, the PCs could only see small slivers of the map. That is pretty sick, though. What we didn't know was that the pool of blood at the base of the altar had streams of blood flowing to other parts of the map. On the map that was revealed to us, there was a map square with a quarter square of red on it. We didn't notice it, and when he said, X happens by the stream of blood, we asked, where is that? And he shouted his reply, right there! Isn't it obvious? No, Sid, unfortunately, people can't read your mind. Again, I don't think it's really that great of an example. Maybe he's a little bit hot-headed, but are we really getting into neckbeard territory? I guess we have to look at it from an RPG horror stories perspective. So, okay, wind it back. We will see how Sid does as a GM, and possibly as a human being if the story goes on for long enough. So far, these things, yeah, he's a little hot-tempered, but I haven't seen much of anything else that OP described in the character list. We've seen anger management issues, issues with authority, that bleeds over into the real world with the cops. Know-it-all-itis, I don't think that necessarily counts. The only example we were given was like the thing with the Mini Cooper, right? There's no such thing as a Stretch Mini Cooper. Well, I didn't think that there was until I looked it up, and God, I wish I hadn't looked it up. One-upsman-osis, haven't seen much of that yet. Unbridled sense of entitlement, yeah, this is my world, etc., but you guys are kind of enabling him by letting him be the game master. Undying hatred of women, yeah, haven't seen that really either, so there is much yet to be unveiled, I do suppose. So, we even had to have a whole game night where we asked him to calm down on game nights. This is a waste of time, bro. I'm going home to watch some fucking Netflix. See, this is the type of friend that I am, which is no friend at all. I'm like, oh, you having a difficult time? Call me when that's sorted. I could be doing so much better stuff right now. That did help for a while. When he was not mad, he was a good friend. Always willing to help when possible, and would always show if/when they said they would. So he's a good boy, overall. He just gets a little hot under the collar sometimes. Don't make me defend the Neckbeard. Don't make me go to bat for El Cid. We've had far too many of these stories lately, OP. That's what this channel's gonna turn into. Me going to bat for every fucking Neckbeard on the planet. And I just don't want it to be like that, alright? So, on to the main event. Alright, give me some juice. Give me some of the good. I want some meat with my potatoes, okay? We were playing Millborns. If you don't know this game, it's a screw your neighbor card game with a racing theme. Basically, there are only 3 moves. Race on, screw your neighbor, or play a remedy. All of us had played it a few times by now, so no one was surprised by the nature of the game, or so I had thought. Alright, pause. He's gonna get screwed over in this game. He's gonna have some anger management issues about it. OP's gonna point to it and say, oh, look how terrible that is. And I'm gonna shrug and go, Is it really that terrible to be upset? God, this is quickly shaping up to be like another overreacting OP, and I'm tired of it, honestly. I'm gonna start vetting stories and fucking just deleting them from the subreddit because I can't anymore, okay? I had this horrible picture painted in my head about this neckbeard from the title and the cast list, and it's turned out to be like a gigantic nothing burger.
It finally came! The big one.
Hamburger.
Where's the beef? That's what I'm asking ya. Anyways, enough theorizing. Let's see how it goes, all right? Cid, Tesleen, and Barbicia showed up early for game night, and to kill some time, we decided to play a game or two of Millborns. This game is really fun, as long as you don't have any table flippers in your gaming group. You can play a whole game in about 30 minutes or less. I'm pretty sure Cid is the table flipper, is he not? Please, somebody throw a chair.
Oh my god, a chair!
Cid loved playing card/board games, and even more so when he played with us because he usually won. Oh yeah, he's one of those big serious gamer boys. I gotta win at every card game ever. Bro, it ain't that serious. You're playing with a 6-year-old little girl, all right? Wind it back a couple of notches. I'm not that good at card/board games. I think decades of DMing and GMing has just drained the competitiveness/need to win out of me, and I just don't have what it takes to win consistently at board or card games. And that's fine. It's not something that you should try to win at, because really that's pretty pathetic, isn't it? Yeah, smash that ass in Uno. Wow, cool. What do you win? Bragging rights. Oh, bragging rights for winning a game of Uno. That is the most pathetic thing I've heard in my life. Pack it in. So my strategy is to do a threat assessment and play against the best player, even if they are not in the lead. Oh, this is a little big brain time. So immediately you're going to go against El Cid. Sabotage him every turn. He's going to get pissed off about it. Clearly. And you're going to be like, it's his fault. I can't believe he got mad about it. Is it pathetic to try and win at a card game? Yes. Is it pathetic to try and sabotage the person that will very likely win at the card game just because you know they're going to win? Arguably also yes. But really, who even cares about any of this? Like I said, nothing burger. On my turn, that is just what I did, and when I finally got a hazard card, I played it against Cid. He seemed irritated, but he didn't have any hazards at that point, so he didn't make a fuss about it. All right, good job, Cid. Take it in stride. Everything's fine. Barbicia went next. She happened to have a hazard card as well, and she decided to play it against Cid. Everybody's just ganging up on him. God damn. I mean, in games like this, it is sort of a popularity contest. When I used to play WarioWare on the GameCube with my friends back in the day, I would always win the little applause game because they clap for me more than they clap for each other. So there is a certain level of charisma that goes into this along with luck. I guess people have just decided they don't like Cid, probably for his angry outbursts, but is that really a reason to go against him so hard? I hate to say it, OP get on my nerves just a little bit. Mostly because you guys are making me defend the neckbeard endlessly. I'm just trying to play it straight. I'm trying to go down the middle and see it from both sides. And to me, it seems like you're overreacting here. But I'll try and reserve my judgment. Let's wait and see Cid's supposed overreaction. So this level of outburst was rare for Cid. In fact, he spent a lot of time stating and even pretending that he had no emotions. Yeah, that's healthy. There was even one year where he repeatedly compared himself to a robot. Oh my god, I wanted to be a robot so bad when I was like 14 or 15. If you asked him about his feelings or what was wrong, his answer was always, nothing. But when he would reach his limit, he would bitch and moan about every damn thing that bothered him for the last 2 years or even further back. Yeah, he's a bottler. He bottles. I don't know why anybody's surprised. This is how some people deal. Is this supposed to be like an egregious sin? It's not really healthy, but neither does it a neckbeard make, okay? This is not what happened this time, though. This was a full-on tirade aimed at a little girl. Yeah, now we're getting to the hateable part. Little girl, 6 to 10 years old, just wants to play a fucking game. And then this neckbeard launches into a seething rant directed at her. What are you doing, bro? Sit down. Go outside. Take 5. He needs a massive amount of therapy. Not just for this, but also for the bottling. This was aimed at a little girl who played a hazard card in a famously screw your neighbor game. His basic complaint was that her move was unfair and not smart. Really, you're just trying to save your own bacon, aren't you? How could you possibly lose? Tesleen was racing ahead of the whole table at the moment, and she already had a hazard on her. And although there was a certain logic to his argument, it was a bit much to be yelling it at the top of his lungs at a little girl. Yeah, the little girl doesn't want to play against mama. Play against this weird fat stranger that's sitting at the table, okay? I get the logic here. But for him to really just unload like this, come on, man. She just a kid, man. And of course, he had to add insult to injury by further insinuating that the only reason that Barbisha had played the hazard against him was because they liked Tesleen and I more than Barbisha liked him. And even if that were true, I wonder why. Like I said, this is more like a popularity contest kind of thing. I understand why Sid is mad that he's losing. He did go a little bit far, but also, is it really worth sitting down and writing a story about? That is the question I must ask you, OP. I did ask you to go gentle on me in the beginning, but this is feather light. I barely feel even brushed by this story. What the hell is going on here? I was in shock. I wanted to jump to Barbisha's defense, but her mom was right there, and I didn't want to interfere with Tesleen's parenting style. She does do a great job with her. Yeah, I would probably recommend, jumping in regardless just to help, and then the parent can ask you to back off if they don't feel that it's needed, right? Then you at least let your intentions be known. But don't sit there like a bump on a log and let him do whatever he wants, screaming in a little girl's face. The fuck is wrong with you? Oh, she's got good parents. They'll handle it. Just pass that buck right along, right? I felt like interfering might be interpreted as a criticism of Tesleen's parenting techniques, and I know how sensitive parents can be about all that and how much advice they get from backseat parents. I mean, you're not giving her advice, you're jumping to the defense of her daughter as anybody would do. What the hell is this? Meanwhile, Tesleen was frozen in shock. See? You should have jumped in. If that's your first impulse, do it. She had no idea what was happening or what to do, and who could blame her? Kick him out of your house. Somebody do something. We're just gonna watch this 6-year-old girl get berated. You have all failed today. Stop. Just pack it in. It's over, okay? Only person I liked in this story is the little girl, and I feel so bad for her. Nobody's helping her at all. The fuck is wrong with y'all? So this went on for 2 or 3 minutes. 2 or 3 minutes! And nobody did anything! It felt like a half hour, and nobody did anything! And then Sid started to storm off. I don't have the words. Barbisha made the mistake of saying something. I forget what exactly, but it was along the lines of, I was just playing the game. And then Sid marched back into the room and resumed his outburst. Is anybody going to stop him this time? No. He continued for another minute or two and then took his stuff and went home, much to our relief. What are you guys doing? How? You failed. You have fucking failed on the most basic level. I have no respect for anybody left sitting at this table, except for the little girl who had to endure this shit. How dare you call yourself a parent? Like, okay, your parenting style is so great, but apparently when your child is in immediate danger, suffering emotional damage right here in front of me, you can't even reach out, stand up, tell him to shut up, get the fuck out of your house. Do something! Then Tesleen and I got the special pleasure of dealing with the crying little girl. Listen here, you fucking asshole, you stupid mook. Do you realize why she's crying? Because you both let that happen. You sat there and you were like, oh, we can't do anything. And then he walked off. Oh, good, it's over. And he came back and you still fucking sat there. Are you kidding me? How? God damn it, dude. I am so frustrated by this OP. I have hated a lot of OPs recently, but this just might take the cake. OP sucks. Look at how sarcastic and uppity he is about it. The special pleasure of dealing with a crying little girl. Yeah, asshole. And why is that situation unfolding? Because you let another situation unfold seconds before. Fucking goldfish brain ass. What is wrong with you? How do you have the nerve to get up on your pedestal and be like, oh, a crying child? How dare you, dude? How dare you? I don't know if I'm gonna read part 2. This is disgusting. I do not like OP one little bit. At first, it was just the overreaction. I'm like, it's a nothing burger. But at the end, really just the cherry on top. You know? Fuck you, dude. He never did apologize for this. Did you? Maybe you should consider apologizing, OP. Christ. It would take years for him to even admit that it was unacceptable behavior. It's fucking, hey, Pot, come over here. Meet my friend Kettle. Jesus Christ. This is not the end of the Sid incidents, nor is it the most irrational thing that he ever did. I knew him as a friend for more than 10 years. 10 years. You never stood up, and then you point the finger and say, look how bad this guy is. He bent me over a barrel for 10 years. You let yourself get bent over a barrel. Fucking spineless. Wormy. Just a bunch of bullshit in this story. Oh, I'm seething. So there are a lot of them. If you like this tale, I'll sit down and write out some more. I hated this tale. This tale has made me madder than anything in recent history, honestly. I am amazed at the audacity that you could have towards this beard when you yourself sat there and did nothing while a kid was being berated. I'm amazed that the mother sat there and did nothing. And you still feel like you have the moral high ground. Like you could just point at this beard and be like, see, he's so bad. Yes, he's bad, but who's worse? You could have been the good man. You could have stepped up and stopped a bad thing from happening, but you didn't. You stood by and said, well, not my circus, not my monkeys, which generally is an okay point of view, but not when a kid is involved. I was so disgusted by this story. I'm honestly not sure if I want to go back in for another one, you know? OP is just endlessly smug, and yes, Sid does need some therapy. I'm going to go ahead and grant you that one, but this level of ego is not healthy. Every time I see, you know, I'm a cool guy in the character intros for the OP, I know we're just going to be in for a shitstorm today. But honestly, it wasn't bad until the end, you know? I would have preferred a nothing burger to the just seething vitriol that came up at the very end. How could the mother do nothing? How could you do nothing knowing that the mother could do nothing or was doing nothing? And then you both let him come back for round 2 and you still decided, I'm going to make a Reddit post. This is going to make me look great and make him look like shit. Y'all both look like shit. Everybody at this table, fuck y'all. That's all I really have to say about it. Gross. I don't know if we'll be back for El Cid or OP for that matter. Again, he probably didn't expect it to go the way that it's going to go, but I do try to go down the middle, see it from both sides, and really the only person that I'm concerned for in this story was the kid. She shouldn't have to go through an experience like that, presumably in her home, playing a game with her mother, where she obviously thought she was going to be safe, and nobody fucking protected her. It's just disgusting. I've said enough about it. I gotta get out of here. It's just gonna get me stirred up again. So if you guys enjoyed this fucking episode somehow, some way, I hope you'll like, comment, and or subscribe. Maybe share it around if you want to give somebody else a giant nothing burger to start and then a hateful vitriolic center at the very end. You do you. I'm not one to tell you what to share around, all right? There are better videos, though. I'll say that. Check out the links in the description. Plugs, playlists, podcasts, Spotify, iTunes. I'm out there everywhere on the internet, everywhere you want to be. Ain't that right? I've also got a bunch of social medias. Yes, Twitter, Discord, Facebook, Twitch, where we live stream this. And yes, the chat was seething right along with me. God bless them for keeping my moral compass straight. And we also got our Patreon, of course. My gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons. I'd like to thank them as I do every episode. So thank you, Wire P and Jerry, Doug Luscious, Harley Holden, Rebecca Squirrel, Robert Allen Waits, Camille Sarah, Chase from Blue Kraken, Milano Man, Roxanne Wolf, Sim Jerry, aka Don Break the Drake, Conrad Ingy, Captain Clown Jerry, Destiny Piper, Aaron Jerry, Alexis Smith, Broken Logic, Esteban, Fraud Lakeside, might be the end for IUARY, you hang in there. Organic Steve, Bean Tom with a bag of marbles from downtown, Jerry, Beg for forgiveness. Fact, Silent Roller, PCB, the original Jerry, Tick Jerry, Jerry Kitsune, Satori, 211 Jerry, the 2 Jerrys, a very tired Jerry, a Dusty Jargonian Jerry, Aspen XO, Assassin Punk Jerry, Bang Bang, Aurora Wildheart, AXN Grizzly, Baby Jerry, Bailey Joy, Bearded Jerry, Bitch Gremlin, Blade the Hero, Blue Jerry, Catholic Jerry, Chelsea Kitsune, Commander JT, Confederate Jew, Dennis Dane, Dr. Large Duck, just Duck, Emergent Jewel, Aaron Era, East Mars, Frozen Over Studios, Fire Drake, Gypsy, Hadrian BR, I'm Slim Jerry, yes, I'm the real Jerry, Irish Pirate, so Leprechaun below decks, twas that or a stowaway Jerry, You're ready to jam. If you nuts, just scratch it, bro. A pimp named J. Crisp. Yes, you have to say the whole thing. JM Coon, Jerry Blacktail, Jerry Nice, Jerry Evil, Jerry the Outlaw of the Trucker, Jerry Beans, now with green apple and Jerry Berry flavors. John Hero, John Jerry, Jingleheimer Schmidt. Bro, you ain't gonna believe this. It's my fucking name too. Crewy, Lieutenant Maker, Miss Monday, Lord Jerry, like and subscribe. I'm a Lady DX. The next to the last Jerry Bender, I have anxiety. Marble Babel, Belgard the Destroyer, Metal Facta, Needless King 89, Nightmare Jerry, Paragon Soul, Phantom Pines, Jerry Kins and Jerry Bat, Queens, Quaaludes and Quagmires, Ramtide Lacromates, Rose Jerry Miller, TSM Kirby, Sarita the Lolita, Sasiata Pussa, Scarlet's Coven, Serena Moore, Sergeant Gaycock, Bringer of the Law, Gay Cop, not Gay Cock. God damn it. Silo Web, Stephanie Gunder, Dynamic Boomstick, Murray Tobago, Tabby Boogaloo, Tato Fair, Tenton Monster, the Italian Greyhound Tito, oh, the Littlest Who, the Hunter Fusky, trying to find another bottle to get back to the real world. You probably don't want to blow into that balloon, not. I'm busy V, V3 Prime, Vanguard Angel, Viking Jerry, Void version 3, because Red keeps killing me at Battle Brothers. Didn't happen, I didn't see it. Wiki Tag, Will Bags, Zephyr the Gargoyle, or Clay, it's Jerry time, Holt ReddX Morpher, Self-Reflection, Calrad Moody, Kira, not another Jerry, but he is though, Red Wing, Non Viper, Saints Blessing, the Third Step, Venom Jerry, Jace Christensen, One Leg Jerry's leg was stolen by Pissant, I see it, a normal Jerry, Active Transformation Belt, Machine, Totally Rider Beard Grease. Admiral T-Tank, Amber Alder, another stupid hipster, Atomic Jerry Zilla, Breaker of the Tom Army, Babsy Goon, Bartender Kalia, Blueberry and Apple Pie, Broken Spine Horseradish, Cake Jerry, the original different Jerry, California Jerry Girl, Shepherd 7 Lock, Chikara the Panda, Cody, secretly a Jerry operative though, Cobra Admiral, Lieutenant Princess Furry Warrior Jerry, Crypt Teddies, D Crazy, aka SDI Jerry, Devon Jerry, Def Tuna, Dopamine Jane Jerryus, Dwarfy Dude, Ghost of Alpha, he cannot, Holy Fairy Jerry, Janitor Jerry made it across to Finland, and only lost a handful of marbles playing Vandermeer, Jeffrey, Gerald of Rivia, Jerry and Tom versus Happy New Year's, Webby Apocalypse, Jerry the Sussy Baka, Jerry's mom has got it going on, check out the mustache on Jerry Aldo Rivera, Jerry Roxas, Jerry Role Playing Game, Judge Jerry and Executioner, King Tails, Kid Marvelous, Kidsikin, Life of Guardian, Little Woods, Lucia Lovecraft, Mama Bachia, CD, CD's nuts, maybe next time, Milkman Give, Miss Duchess, Not Invisible Angel, Raptor Art, she's my Jerry Pie, Snary, that's Snom Jerry, Snowman, what is best in life? To crush your neckbeards, to put them feet to Jesus, and to hear the lamentations of their body pillows. Spooky the Rogue, Spooky Scary Jerry Ton, Techno Dubs, the original Jerry, not, to Infinite Jerry and Beyond, we on the way, Unkale, Underwater Movies, Unfortunate Jerry Screaming in Nookie's latest magical girl transformation, make it stop, throws 2 liter Mountain Dew, grow my neckbeard, grow, it's Jerry time, holds ReddX Morpher, Hygiene, it's Jerry time, holds ReddX Morpher, Humility, both important, you know who's also important is my $1 patrons, thank you to all you beautiful people as well. Thank you, as always, to my Jerrys and not Jerrys alike. I'm glad that I have so many great people in my life. The kid in this story deserves so much better people in her life. Jesus. If anybody else could sign up on the Patreon, that would be huge. If you can't do it right now, don't sweat it too hard, friends. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me. I hope you'll come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. In order to do so, you need to keep yourself safe out there. Wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe like watching some more ReddX videos. Yeah, that'd be cool. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely deserve it. I shall see you in the next one. And until then, friends, bye-bye.